Welcome back everyone to the channel. Today I have for you guys an Intel PC build that I had built over time over the past few months. Got some of the parts, some of them were free, some were over months, years that I got them, but yeah, overall we did it. And here I'm going to showcase to you guys the build process and price and everything. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. Leave a like, especially because I took a lot of time, effort, and yeah, life's just been an a-hole for me, so I finally got this out. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy. Leave a like again and let's get started. So yeah, first things first is our case, which is the Atlas E1 GAMDIAS case. It's a mid-tower PC case. Just some things really quickly overviewing it on the Amazon website. It has a temperature display. It could show your CPU, GPU, and ambient temperature via the ZEUS CAS software. So yeah, that's pretty cool. It has your IO ports in the front, or not IO ports, but your front panel ports or whatever. You could change the temp, the color, power on, USB 3.0, two of them, and then audio jack as well. And then it does come with pre-installed three built-in ARGB fans. This thing can accommodate up to 5 fans inside the case, which is cool. You could also add obviously liquid cooler, radiators, whatever you want. I will leave the link in the description for all the parts, by the way, so if you want to read more of this, you can. You could fit graphics cards up to 340 millimeters in length, and PSUs 160 millimeters in length as well. And then it also says right here RAM clearance, 160 millimeter RAM clearance. So yeah, it's a pretty decent case, but I forgot to tell you guys the price. After tax, it was $51.41. So yeah, for our motherboard in the big 2020-2026 is the MSI Z370A Pro motherboard. It is the LGA 1151 socket. And yeah, this thing was free. Basically, I got it on Marketplace. If you guys weren't subscribed to me, like when I had like 50 subs, I did a GTX 1080 build, and the guy eventually gave me his old parts, which was the CPU, PSU, a fan, and then the motherboard obviously. So yeah, pretty good. The only thing I had to change was thermal pads here. I can't remember right now what the names are of these, but yeah, I had to change these, which was not bad at all. Everything worked out great. So here's our CPU. It is an i5-8400, which came out in 2017. Has a 65 watt TDP, base clock of 2.8 gigahertz, a boost clock of 4.8 gigahertz, has 9 megabytes of cache, and it supports up to 2666 megahertz of RAM, but I will be running it more than that. It does only support also PCIe 3, and it does have Intel UHD graphics, but I don't think I'll be using that, but yeah. Okay, so now installation of the CPU on the motherboard, pretty simple. Make sure the arrow is on the bottom left, and the 2 half circle crevices on both sides of the top of the CPU should be in alignment. Moving on to our RAM, I went ahead and hopped on eBay. I copped 2 sticks of XPG ADATA RAM DDR4 3200 megahertz. Only difference is that they're different coloring, but same CL timing, same megahertz. I didn't buy these at the same time. The red stick I bought around November of last year, and the black stick I bought earlier this year, but in total it was $50.86. And the best way to buy DDR4 RAM is on eBay used. Try to get it at least around 50 bucks. That's what I got it around. If you could get it cheaper, that's even better. Our SSD was a HUADISK 512 gigabyte NVMe SSD with a heatsink. I got the 512 gigabyte version, which has read speeds up to 2500 megabytes per second and write speeds up to 1900 megabytes per second. I only chose this because it was the cheapest option at $83.99, which is still a lot, but I was not going to spend like $150 on a 1 terabyte SSD. So yeah, and usually it's pretty easy to install your SSD. Just align it with the slit and then you just screw it in. But with mine, where I have to screw it in, I had to adjust it to where the length of my SSD was, otherwise it wouldn't have a place to screw in. So did that real quick, but yeah, pretty simple. Our CPU cooler for our i5-8400 is a SE224 XTS. You could go with a stock cooler, but I just wanted it to look a little bit fancier. I don't really care about the ARGB, so it doesn't have any. But yeah, I bought this for $15.99 before tax, I believe. So it might have been like 16 bucks. Right now it's going for 30. Pretty simple cooler. Comes with your hardware, your cooler with a fan, thermal paste, and a manual. Here's all the hardware that I had to use. Pretty simple, but I'm just gonna fast forward because it did take me a long time. Okay, so now it's time to put everything inside the case, and you are going to need standoffs to add inside the case if you're doing full ATX size motherboard. So yeah, just keep that in mind. And I believe 9 motherboard screws were used to put this in. I also did not have an IO shield with this motherboard, so I would just be leaving it out. But yeah, pretty simple, 9 screws, and it will fit nicely as long as you have it in place correctly. I actually forgot to tell you guys that the bottom 3 screws are going to be a little bit harder just because the fans are in the way. If you want to remove the fans, that's up to you, but I didn't. I just did it standing up and it worked out perfectly fine. Probably not the tightest fit, but it worked. It is now time to install our GPU, which is the ASUS GeForce RTX 2060 ROG Strix Evo 6GB card. This is actually one of the best cooled RTX 2060s, so that is a major plus already. I found this at a Micro Center for 119 bucks before tax. So yeah, this is pretty bulky card, pretty good looking card. Now going to the specs of this, we have 1920 CUDA cores, boost clock of 1860 megahertz on overclocked mode, 1830 megahertz on gaming mode. It has 6 gigabytes of GDDR6 memory, a memory bus width of 192-bit, and it has 2 display ports, 1.4A and 2 HDMI 2.0B. Takes one 8-pin power connector, and the recommended PSU for this 500 watts, which is not bad at all. Also reading, this thing has addressable RGB lighting on the shroud and backplate, which is good, but I don't think I've changed it. Mine has been stuck on red, so I'll just keep it like that. Like I said earlier, with the fan, the cooler, I don't really care about ARGB, but yeah, that's a cool little feature as well. It does take 2 GPU slots, which is pretty typical, but I don't know why I always do this every video that I do PC building. I always add the GPU first and end up realizing that I'm gonna need space to connect the front panel connectors, so just don't mind if it switches up later on in the video when I connect everything on the front panel. So yeah, taking advantage of the prime deals, we snagged ourselves a MSI Mag A550BN PSU. It is 80 plus bronze, 120mm fan inside, low noise, lives up to that. According to Amazon, it does have a 5-year limited warranty, so let's see if it does outlast that warranty. Nothing too much to say about this PSU. I really just needed something that will power this thing. I won't be overclocking anything, so this is just a perfect fit for it. And our price on Amazon was $46.16. quick thing with this USB connector, you will need an adapter just because the motherboard has a reverse connection and there's no possible way to connect it like this. So I do have it already here on my desk, but I have not recorded me putting it on. I probably won't, but just to let you guys know if you guys do encounter one of these motherboards. And link will also be in the description for that part as well. And now we are heading towards the end of the video, but before that we have to enter cable management territory, which is like the final boss of every PC. Just horrible. Like, if you know, you know. Finally, all that is done, and now it's time to see if it even turns on, which it did. After that, I installed Windows and installed the ZEUS cast software, which is the app that you can use to change the actual display mode, which is kind of neat. I'm not going to really go into depth with this. It's pretty simple, but yeah, it ended up working. And yeah, the display now works, and you could change also the color through the case. You don't need like an external ARGB controller, so that is pretty neat. First game we have is AC Black Flag Resynced on low settings with standard ray tracing and DLSS quality. This is gameplay that I'm showing right here. I did run a in-game benchmark as well, and we got an average FPS of 59 with a 1% low of 44. The gameplay shows here, it's very consistent with the benchmark that we did, maintaining anywhere from low 50s to mid 60s. And although our VRAM is limited here with 6 gigabytes and our RAM is limited to 16 gigabytes, it ran pretty well, pretty smooth. I have no complaints with these settings on. We did try FSR frame generation here with these same settings, and we got over 60 FPS for anyone wanting to get more FPS, but it comes with some sacrifice, some softer image quality, some pop-in, and also a little bit more delay, but if you're on controller, it doesn't feel as bad. Our next game is GTA 5 Enhanced using very high preset with DLAA on, just to get a sharper image quality. So in our testing, we got over 100 FPS consistently. Sometimes it would drop to the 90s, especially when driving, but this is literally a perfect system for this game. I mean, you could run GTA 5 on the PS4, so it's no surprise. If you do want to cap the FPS to 60 or 120, you can, just to get those 1% lows closer. But yeah, our GPU and CPU had no problem handling this game. Next game we have on our hands is Days Gone at 1080p with medium preset at 70 field of view. Now this game surprised me because it actually ran well for the most part. We got over 120 FPS, but it ranged anywhere from 80 to like 120 FPS. So yeah, pretty good experience. I played for a while. Now some things to note is our CPU did hit 100% utilization, Maybe that's why our 1% lows were going down, or maybe just because the CPU is dated, obviously. But other than that, and the 1% lows going down to like the 20s, I have nothing really to complain about. I would probably play this at 60 FPS just to mitigate those 1% lows. Fourth game we have is Cyberpunk 2077 on high and some ultra settings with DLSS quality on the old model, and ray tracing was on as well. In the city we got 50 to 60 plus FPS. In the outer parts we got 70 to 80 plus FPS. I could say this ran better than my Ryzen 5 3600 and GTX 1070 build. Heading into our two final games, we have the finals with medium settings, DLSS quality, and 80 field of view, no ray tracing. I do have to say that this game took a long time preloading shaders, but the performance was alright. We got anywhere from 60 to 90 plus FPS, more so when having destruction and more chaos in our scene. Our CPU also was hitting 100% utilization, so if I didn't get this for free, I would most likely choose a different type of CPU. But yeah, for this system, I mean, it does its job. On CSGO 2 at 1080p with high settings preset, we got over 200 FPS, but it was not consistent all the time. We could get like 140 plus FPS at times, especially I noticed when dying, our FPS would go down and then it would stay down to like 150 plus FPS. But yeah, this thing could definitely handle over 200 FPS, and yeah, pretty good experience. RAM is good, VRAM is good, and yeah, overall pretty good experience for something like CSGO. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy. This is going to be the end of the video. I do have more benchmarks of this build, so I'm probably just going to make them into shorts for you guys. But yeah, leave a like and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.